Chapter 5 Season 2 has come to an end, and it is time for us to answer the most important question of the season. Was Chapter 5 Season 2 a good season? Make sure you like the video for the algorithm and check out the description where you can buy a masterclass to improve your Fortnite skill tenfold. And with that, let's answer this important question. This season, in terms of the player base, it took a little bit of a hit. That's right, the player base went down a little bit this season, and I think it's because last season we had the complete remodeling of the Fortnite map that made everyone super invested and interested in the game, and the season before we also had the OG season, which completely dominated the numbers in terms of player base. This season wasn't quite as exciting, so the player base dipped down quite a lot. It wasn't just the casual numbers that went down a lot, it was the competitive numbers as well. If we look at FNCS this season, it had a 63% decline in players from last season to this season in pretty much every single region. While this isn't a great number for the game to be looking at, we know that Fortnite, as soon as they release a great season, will be straight back up on top of the numbers. So despite the declining player base for this season, I'm not at all worried. This brings us onto the map. The map changes were pretty solid this season. I'm going to have to take that in consideration when I say whether this season was good or not. The map changes happened in the top left and the bottom right of the map, with the addition of the Battleground, Brawler's Battleground, and also Mount Olympus in the bottom right corner, and the Underworld and Grim Gate in the top left. Brawler's Battleground and Mount Olympus didn't really make that much of a difference to the meta, it was just the zones sometimes pulling to Mount Olympus that made it pretty hard to fight in those zones. But the top left added a permanent mobility to the map that was both super cool and super interesting. When was the last time we'd have seen a game that allowed you to gain 3 dashes from the skulls of the undead? It's pretty cool concept, that's what I'm saying. And I'd really like to see map changes like this that are really intuitive going forward. Maybe they'll keep the Underworld next season and Grim Gate, maybe they won't, but I'm excited either way. While we're on the topics of new locations, let's talk about the medallions. So in terms of medallions, the by far best one was the Grim Gate medallion. This was great for competitive, especially as it allows the user to take easy high ground in endgame, get away from engagements whenever they want, and push people wherever they are in the map when they're W keying them. This is, on God, the most broken thing they've ever added to competitive. Mustache and Malibuka fumbled the bag on EU, but Peterbot really showed how overpowered this medallion was, using it all season and being able to win grand finals by about 350 points. While I like the concept, this should not be in the game. Maybe if they changed the amount of dashes it got from 3 to 1, it might be a bit fairer, but honestly they need to take this out next season. I can't be bothered for another Grim Gate fight all season of Spawn. The second best medallion in my opinion is the Mount Olympus one, the other movement one, and I really like this one. It allows you to get banana movement the entire time, and I love it honestly. It's super interesting to use, and it doesn't just give you an upgraded damage on your weapons by about 4 Aries. But again, super unique, good. I'm glad that with this season they didn't just decide to give you mythic weapons that do more damage, even though they've done that as well. They've decided to give medallions that also give you increased power-ups and interesting stuff. The Hades medallion, the Underworld medallion, is pretty cool, and it gives the Siphon, which we've all wanted back for seasons. Hopefully next season they've really added it in. That's probably one of the top of my wish list. And finally, the Ares God of War medallion. The medallion that suits its bearer by giving an extra damage on the weapons, but also is completely useless. This medallion is so useless that Swizzy and Vaniac, who won EU FNCS, actually killed the bot, took the AR, and just left the medallion, because the extra 4 damage was not worth having your location shown to the whole map. Either way, I really like the medallions this season, and let's move on to the weapons. Now, can I just say I'm not the biggest fan of this loot pool. I think that it is pretty clogged up, and also you have all the guns doing immense damage, meaning that you're dead in seconds whatever gun you use. I prefer a loot pool where the guns do slightly less damage, and therefore it's a bit more skillful to kill a player, but that's just me. The pump is as solid as ever, the hammer pump shotgun. However, it is overshadowed by the best shotgun of the season, that being the Gatekeeper shotgun. This thing is crazy, and I'd honestly argue if it did a bit less damage, it would be pretty fair. It only has 3 bullets in, so you have to be pretty skilled to use it if you don't have the mod on it. Which again, I'd argue if it did slightly less damage, it actually would be fair. The auto shotgun, ever since they've nerfed it, has just been absolutely terrible. They need to get this gun out of the loophole by next season, and I'm having no excuses from Epic. Get it out. I think they're going to take the Gatekeeper out as well, because if Grimgate's going, then the Gatekeeper shotgun's going. In terms of ARs, we actually have a good AR meta in my opinion this season. Though I don't like the bullet damage drop off they added to ARs, which make it a lot harder to hit shots, I do like the AR meta. The Nemesis AR has been used by a lot of pros this season, including Peterbot, as I believe it has the least damage drop off out of any gun and also allows you to do pretty consistent damage. The DMR has also been a great tool for Surge this season. They added it midway through and it's been very solid the entire time. And finally, the main AR of the season, the weakened versions of the Ares AR. This is a pretty solid and also a great follow-up weapon. It can be a little bit harder to spray mid-range, but that's what I like. These guns have weaknesses. The Nemesis is bad in the box, the DMR is likewise bad in the box, terrible in the box even, and the other AR is also bad at mid-range / long range. 2 guns are better for Surge, 1 gun's better for fighting. It's a good meta, and probably one of my favourite AR metas we've had. I'm not going to talk too much about heals, but I am going to mention that bananas are quite possibly one of the best things I've ever seen. In my opinion, they are one of the best heals they've ever added to the game, up there with slurp juices. Hear me out on this one. Any heal that heals you while you're not healing is a great addition, because if you get hit 100, pop your banana, and then spend the next minute getting away from the player in box fighting, you gained back to 100 health. Pretty much like slurp juices, just slightly weakened. I really hope they add more uses of this kind of healing, where it's kind of like passive healing next season. I'm actually super excited. It wouldn't be this season without the wings of Icarus and also the lightning bolt of Zeus. The lightning bolt of Zeus has been pretty pathetic the whole season. It started off as a massive threat to everybody, and then we all figured out that you just stay in the air and can't move while it's going, so it became pretty counterable. It's still annoying in the odd ranked matches, and therefore I don't like it too much. It's a bit of a themed item, but I don't think it should go through builds at all. Destroy builds? Yes. Go through builds? No way. If an item goes through builds, it just completely makes the game unplayable and just makes it very unskillful. Anyone can shoot you through a wall. I could literally shoot Vaniac or shoot Mr. Savage and kill them through a wall. Is that skillful? Am I better than those players? No. I should not be able to kill them, guaranteed. Obviously this is based on them not sniping, but we're just going on the fact that they might not be able to see me. The Wings of Icarus, however, has had a bit of an arc in itself. It started off as the wings that everyone tried, then slowly but surely, and one by one we realised they were terrible, as the hitbox actually increases when you use them and fly with them. I really like this change because I think that if we're going to allow players to fly, at least make them easier to hit, and they were definitely easier to hit. However, as the season went on, we discovered little ways, like placing a wall, and then you can dash forward with a cone without flying at all. And they also completely remove fall damage. Another great addition. You made them useful without making them useful. That is impressive. And for grand finals this season, we had almost every team using a pair of these wings. I really like the arc these wings have gone on, and likewise the other mythic item we've had this season, water bending. I really like the arc this one's gone on as well. We all dismissed it as bad, apart from me. I kept telling my duo partner Ben it was the best thing ever, but he didn't listen to me. And then as the season went on, more and more people were picking up water bending, and finally in grand finals, pretty much every team, if they got water bending, was using it for Surge. It's unlimited ammo. Admittedly, it's a bit broken, but I enjoyed it because not many people were using it, so it didn't really feel that strong. That being said, you guys can disagree with me, but the Avatar collab is pretty awesome. Finally, for our last topic, let's talk about server performance. Server performance hasn't been too bad this season, it's actually been solid to be fair. And in terms of glitches, we've had a lot of glitches, but what season recently have we not had a lot of glitches? Glitches do ruin the game, but if they can fix them fast, it's not too terrible. The ready up bug though, that is the most annoying glitch I've ever seen in my life. When I'm playing a tournament, I'll ready up, go to the toilet, come back, and I'm not readied up. I'll then ready up, look at my phone, look back, and I'm not readied up again. Sometimes I have to ready up 3 times to ready up once. Terrible. Okay, enough waffling. I'm going to rate this season. It's an interesting one. A 7 out of 10. Everything else for me was on point, although the Grimgate Medallion was a little bit busted. I think what really dropped it down from a 10 is the loot pool. The fact we had a lot of guns at 200 to 0 during seconds meant that this season wasn't as fun as it could have been. I also forgot to mention snipers earlier, which they did nerf a considerable amount, but they still one-shot headshot, so I like them slightly better this season. But stuff like the ARs and the Gatekeeper shotgun were incredibly powerful, and they made it really hard to fight. One mistake and you're 1 HP. So that is my reasoning for the rating I've given it. What would you guys give it? Let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, watch the video on the screen right now and check out the link in the description for the Destiny G Masterclasses. If you don't watch this video on the screen, then you are not going to qualify for a single solo victory cash cup next season. So I'd watch it if I were you. Have a good day.